to take a few moments. We learned today that Bruce Hawking passed away. He has been a committed and dedicated supporter of education in this community as someone who did not have children of his own, but for 30, 40 years he came to our board meetings regularly. He, I think, is about 97 at this time, and his last year or so has been pretty tough for him. Very also involved with city. I mean, he has the dedication of his and the commitment to his convictions, and I would ask that we have a moment of silence in respect for him. Thank you. We did not have anything to report out of closed session tonight, and so I'd ask for a motion to adopt our agenda. Any changes or additions to the agenda?
We have just not a change but a correction. We had on the warrant section pages 47 through 59 and 34 through 46 are actually the same warrants, so we're not saying those things twice. So just understand that the actual warrant should be 34 through 46. Disregard pages 47 through 59, and then it picks back up after that. So I apologize.
All those in favor of the agenda as amended? Aye. Opposed? Carries 5-0. We have public comment on non-agenda items. If there's anyone here who wishes to comment on anything that's not on our agenda tonight. Next, we have a lot of recognitions this evening, and we'll be coming to the retirements. We start with our folks that are retiring from our district. Lisa,
okay, thank you. So I'm honored to help recognize and congratulate our staff who have retired this year, or who will be retiring this year. We're privileged to recognize these dedicated members of our LBUSD family. And there are many retirees. We have 2 here tonight that we're going to honor, and we'll be sending you out the information about our other retirees. But I'd like to ask Chris Studdy to join us, and he's going to help present these recognitions. And so we will start first with Kim Adams. Teacher at all.
Thank you.
Before Kim sits down, it would be it wouldn't be doing credit to Kim and all of her hard work that she's done with our special education students at El Moro. Kim and I started at El Moro at the same time, so she's worked there 14 years, and she just made a comment to me that she came into this later in her career and that she came in with her eyes wide open, and I think that that's a great description of Kim, and because she has such an open mind when working with these kids and trying different strategies to help them learn. And the thing that I love most about Kim is that she always is concerned about the students accessing their grade level curriculum. So whatever she needed to do to make it understandable for those kids in 4th and 5th grade, she did. She didn't water it down, and she might have started with the 3rd grade stuff, but by the end of the year, she figured out a way to get the 5th grade stuff in there for those kids. And they made a ton of growth with Kim in her classroom. And I've gotten to know you as a person, and it's been a pleasure to get to know you as a person. And it's always hard because this is my comfort zone, right? So not having her there next year is going to be a new experience, but I'm going to have my eyes wide open for that. So I will do that, and I'm so happy that she gets to spend more time with her family. I know that she's really looking forward to doing that. So.
My granddaughter.
Do you have a family here that you'd like to introduce?
My husband feels really bad he's not here tonight. He volunteers. He's retired 5 years, so he's anxious for me to retire. But he's volunteering with the Red Cross tonight. So he's doing that. But I have an instructional assistant, Rachel with here, and Long and Debbie Fennerty and of course Kathy and Gretchen is back there and Christine and some teachers that are here to support me, so thank you very much.
Chris, kind of, if I may, kind of in line with what you commented on, I just would say that I noticed at open houses that you would not see any difference in your room as any other room, all the things on display, the children excited to show the work to their parents, and it just flowed with everything else, and I think that's my compliment to you.
Great, thank you very much. I have to, it's all the kids, I love the kids, and when I told Chris, I went into this eyes wide open, I've only taught for 19 years. It wasn't until my kids were in elementary and I started as a special ed instructional assistant. And I thought, oh my gosh, I love these kids and they need attention, they need support. And when I went back to school, I started classes, and as soon as my principal found out that I was taking classes, I was hired right away on emergency credential. And I just want to thank Chris and Irene White for their support all these years. Without that, I could not have done this job. It's a difficult job.
And
I've enjoyed it.
And I wanna say thank you so much for all you've done for our students. You, boy,
Thank you.
huge things.
Okay, and our next honoree is Kathy Levan, also from.
Okay, so Kathy made me promise to say something nice about her today. We were joking about that this morning at work, and it's going to be bittersweet. I'm so happy for Kathy. She wants to spend time with her granddaughter as well, who's here somewhere. Where'd she go? And Kathy reminds us all every morning that that's the best granddaughter in the whole world. But all joking aside, Kathy's worked in teaching for 20 years, and she's been at Elmore for 20 years. And she's taught first grade for 18 of those years. So she is loved, respected by students, parents, and staff at Elmore. And the thing I'm going to miss the most is Kathy's sense of humor. She does have a really good sense of humor, and I heard some chuckles over there. We all know that. And Kathy's done a lot of roles at Elmore. She's been the union representative at Elmore. This year, she's the teacher in charge. So while I'm gone, I think that's what made her retire. So I'm going home to my granddaughter. But I know that the kids really enjoy having Kathy as their teacher. They learn a lot and they grow so much in first grade. And she's worked really hard over the years, adapting different styles and adapting different techniques. Things have changed a lot since in 20 years, and she's done it all, and she's done it all with the kids in mind and putting them first. And so we really appreciate all your hard work, Kathy. You've done a great job.
I could never ever ask for a better boss. You've been nothing but incredibly supportive, always for 20 years, and I really miss you very much. Yes, you too. Helping us in the funny text messages. And my family, my husband's here, my sons, of course, my daughter-in-law, and my sister-in-law, and my brother-in-law, and the love of my life, Lila. And all my staff members, my colleagues, who don't go running the other direction when I have my phone. I'm in the picture. I'm so accepting and loving, and I've had the honor to work with the most incredibly talented, amazing, kind people. And I will miss you all. You're my second family. So thank you very much.
Kathy,
We're on.
thank
thank you
Oh,
for
I'm sorry.
all that you've done for the students in our district, and it is not a small thing to say how much first grade has changed since you started. I mean, it's been a huge change, but you've had that team there at Elmore, of course, now it's changing more than it has
Yeah.
changed, but it's a critical year. Not that all the years aren't important, but first grade is certainly, it is, so you have a lot of students. You have a good
And I
start.
hope I
Getting
made a
them off
difference
to a
in
good
one life,
start.
so get them off to a good start, love you books.
Trying to solidify the reading, and you love reading and books, that's been passed down.
Thank you all very much, I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Howard has several presentations for us. And we're right after this assistant.
Hi, everyone. On behalf of School Power's Board of Trustees, and thanks to the incredible support of this community where parents care so much about the education of their children, I'm honored to present a check for School Power tonight. The money represents 3 areas of School Power's fundraising and focus. The first of which, $250,000, is our annual gift, which means contributions every year to K through 3 class size reduction, K through 8 music, Thurston and High School visual and performing arts programs, a high school counselor, and the ever-present call-out system. It also now includes a contribution to STEM resources due to district expansion and donor resonance. The second part, $90,235, is for teacher and school programs. Most of the money is specifically designated by donors in our community campaign. We want our educators to feel supported, and we love that when a teacher has an innovative idea, School Power money is there for them. And speaking of support, on top of the $90,000, an additional $10,000 was given to the generous Martini family, who funded the district's request to bring Julia Lithcott-Haynes to our community. Finally, $160,500 was raised in this year's Fund a Need initiative, with an additional $25,000 thanks to our endowment board. It's to ensure the digital literacy of Laguna Beach students, and that will go into effect this fall. So, from School Power, I'm happy to present $510,735.
Well, I should have said Kristen Winter when I introduced you. I mean, I did say that. We're good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it. And School Power works really, really closely with our endowment to raise money, so with this, Chris Clark.
You can sit down.
You can, oh, sorry, sorry, Chris.
You'll be back up.
You'll be
No,
back up.
I'll do a little talking first.
Okay.
All right. You
She's
put
gonna
that in
take
your
her
wallet.
shampoo.
Okay, your wallet, come back up. Well, thank you one and all. Thank you especially to Kristen Winter and School Power and everybody here who supports School Power in our community. It's just a such a wonderful blessing to have the support of the community. The school board works so hard, the teachers, principals, the board, they all work hard to make this the best place for our students to go to school. And it really shows in the community, it shows in the success of the schools and the students. And I just can't be thankful enough to be a part of this community, and that's why I volunteer my time as president of the endowment board. So now, School Power invests some of the money it receives beyond that from that we just given to you guys to the endowment board, and it's about 15% a year of the revenue that School Power gets in donations every year. That money goes into an endowment fund, which presently has over $3.7 million invested and growing for the future of this school district. So that's a very special thing to have. It's been special in the past, and I'm sure it'll be special in the future should the district get in a position where they need to access those funds. So with that, before we get to our illustrious teacher grant presentations, I do also have a large check from Endowment. This money reflects a $40,000 contribution to support the classroom projects associated with our groundbreaking Rocket Ready program. Mike's over there. And $32,820 for the Grade Slam pilot that I hope everybody is pushing our kids to get on that for tutoring. $12,000 for the new Learning Classroom pilot, which we're real excited about seeing how that works. $82,291 for 20 teacher grants that we are going to present momentarily. And $25,000, as Kristen said, for the 2018 funded need to invest in students' digital literacy. So with that, we will present this check for a total of $192,111 to the district.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure. Now, I'd like to introduce our Executive Director at School Power, Robin Rinaldi, who's going to come up here and help me present these teacher grants.
Thank you. This is our favorite thing that we do every year. The first teacher grant is called Learning Outside the Box. When I'm doing this. I'm gonna stop it real quick and restart. Gotcha. Okay. Learning Outside the Box for Jamie Jamison, Shannon Vallada, Christine Wagner, and Tamara Wong. Sure. Can we get a photo of this guy?
Anybody up there?
We won't do this every time.
Every time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Three interactive hands-on Osmo learning stations for the entire kindergarten. Gretchen Schuley, Lisa Williams, and Mary Glenn.
Ms. Shuley taught all my kids.
And all three of mine.
That's right.
And this is a very interesting grant. Peace Path, Marianne Lawson.
Congratulations.
Of course. And next we have Renew Gizmo, Kathleen Margaretich. And actually you can stay
Probably
here.
stay up there.
The next one is very interesting, animal skull sets. These grants are so fun to read, like seriously the process of our endowment group, it's our favorite meeting of the year and incredibly inspiring. First and second grade Osmos, I won't read all of the names, but first and second grade. Nicole Stewart is here, and Debbie Finnerty is here, and yes, both of them are here.
Yes.
And second grade iPads, Melinda Vogel and Debbie Finnerty, and Kama Stevens, and Kim Cross. Making STEAM Happen Everywhere is a team coordinated project between Top of the World and El Moro, Jackie Cohn and Kathleen Margaretich. Oh, okay, Jackie. Seeing Beyond the Surface, Jackie Cohn. Thanks so much. Breakout EDU with Brian Cool, Terrell Campbell, Marianne Bynum, and Patty Raven. And I can't wait to see this next week or very soon. Thurston's Global Village and Culture Fair at Open House. Randy Beckley couldn't be here, but she sent Jeff Dipple, I think, yes,
There he is.
and yes, and Erme Bond.
Congratulations.
And Thurston Passion Project, Lisa Brequez and Michelle Martinez. I know that near your heart. Thank you. And Jeff, we have one more for you, Project Talk Abroad, Jeff Dibble. GPS watches for Fitness for All PE for the entire Thurston PTA department, and Wendy Hughes is here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Digitizing, I was writing digitalizing for a long time. Digitizing LBUSD drama, Alexis Carroll. If you look at that photo, it's super clever. Those are iPads. Digital animation and painting, Bridget Beaudry Porter. The Vinson Library, Sarah Vinson. Computer for Drumline Competition Show, Jeremy Chung. Jason, he couldn't be here tonight. Sphero Robotics, Carrie Denton. Merritt is here to accept this award. Yeah, and Jennifer Merritt and the entire science department, the final grant, Engineering Tools for All of Science, is also for you.
Thank you to all the teachers and everybody here watching. What a wonderful year it was for teacher grants, and we just look forward to next year, and I'll be back.
Chris and Robin, I just want to thank you guys. I'm sitting on as a board member rep for the Down Board and for School Power for the last few years. It's so heartening to see the time and effort you all put in, I'm Kristen Weaver, that you all put in making such thoughtful choices and the discussions you have. supporting Mike with the Rocket Ready. The things that we bring to you are not necessarily accessible to you all. And you trust, you listen, you are, you discuss amongst yourselves. But I just appreciate that process so much. I just think it's so important that people know these aren't knee-jerk, throw some money at it and see what sticks. Conversations happen, knowing that it can be sustainable and that the district is behind it as well. It's not, just thrown out there. So I just want to thank you for that process. It's really important, and I just hope it continues. So thank you.
Add to that, having been at the last endowment meeting, that Mike had another idea, and he came in and again, there's that, what you're saying, there's that openness to wanting to make it possible, but also a lot of questions. And then there's also always the idea of coming back and saying, this is how it's working, and there's, so it is, as you said, it's really thoughtful, but there's, they hold us accountable to making sure that it isn't just something that's, oh, we might try this, we might try that. But I also wanted to add tonight that there are a lot of volunteer hours that go into what School Power Endowment provide for the district, and there's really a great appreciation for that. I don't know how much publicity that gets, that all those folks behind the scenes that do all the volunteer work to make all these things possible, and even for some of the folks who are office staff, there's a lot of work that's put in outside of anything that would be traditional work day. And I would add one more thing, listening to you give a little bit background on the endowment, and thinking back to when that was like, and I'd have to say it would be Ron Chilcott, it was like, okay, we need to sustain this, because the idea that a community would keep giving at this level probably isn't gonna happen. Well, you don't have foresight, so it has happened, and it continues to happen, but that was the start of the endowment, that we need to put something in place, because the school is going to go, potentially up and down on a cycle, and they'll need the assistance. And I used to go to those school power meetings in the little front office room at the hospital. So the trustees kind of all sat around a table, and we had, I was a rep from here, but it has grown so much. And a lot of that is because you have taken on the challenge of raising the large amounts of money to help us.
Thank you, Jan.
Thank you.
And Keta, thank you very much.
And from my perspective, I think it allows our teachers to dream. It's not every day that they get to ask for a pot of money to try something new. And I've seen a lot of the things that teachers have asked for in action. Had the opportunity to go into Jeff's classroom and see our students speaking with a native speaker from another country. I've been in our science classrooms, and just to be clear, Miss Margaretich back there, she's a science teacher, so that's why she's ordering skulls. And Lisa and I thought it would be important to clarify what her role is in the district. But it is one of those opportunities that not every school district gets to do. Our teachers, I think, are thankful, speak for all of you that are here receiving grants tonight. But our students are the ones who are most appreciative as well. They're the ones who are the beneficiaries of your support. Having walked in the door and been a part of two amazing Fun and Need conversations that have pushed us to think and continue to think about what we can do on behalf of students in this district, make this a real special place for us. So I'm very appreciative from the work that I do to get to work with all three of you and the rest of your School Power group, but especially the three of you who've been amazing partners in this time, and I look forward to the next president who will come in, and Kristen gets to take a little bit of break, but you'll be here with me, Chris, and Robin also. We will see each other. That you will have you here, but I know that there's going to continue to be a lot of transition School Power. Just so thankful of the great leadership that Robin has done so far to date, and will continue to do as we make our transition. But we will invite all of our community partners back at our next board meeting to thank them for all the work that they do and dedication. But again, thank you to the staff for dreaming and asking for the funding. It's important that we keep doing that, and you keep having that opportunity to try new things for our students. So.
We have a short break, and there's reception for things for you out there, snacks. Thanks. Begin with our reports, and our first report is our student Grant Piper.
After a busy 2 weeks of AP testing, students are adjusting to the modified PASSE testing schedule. Junior students have already taken their first English portion of the test. We had a successful Spirit Week, Pup Assembly, and prom last week. ASB is continuing to brainstorm and plan small activities on campus to keep students involved for the last 2 weeks of school. The third Student Senate meeting will be held this Friday during Curriculum Advisory. There, student members will be able to share their input on last week's activities. Upperclassmen girls are beginning to practice for the annual Powder Puff game which will be held on Wednesday, June 6th. We are hoping to incorporate some on-campus activities surrounding the game. This Friday, the spring play, Diary of Anne Frank, will be opening. Performances will continue through this Sunday. For sports, boys varsity tennis won CAF finals last Friday. This year's team has been the most successful since 1982. Varsity baseball had a devastating loss in the first round of CAF last Thursday. Finally, the girls' varsity 4x1 team, made up of all underclassmen, set another new school record this Saturday at CAF finals. We also have some students here to address the board. You may speak at the podium. Thank you.
Good evening. So last year you guys approved us bringing on wrestling and boys and girls lacrosse. So I wanted to have a couple of our actual students get up and tell you guys about their experience. So why don't we start with our wrestlers, if you guys don't mind. Come on up, fellas. Introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Miles Stripling, Sun's Arcade Car, and we just got a wrestling team this year, and it's my senior year, and I didn't have the opportunity to wrestle as a freshman, but Suns I did. Yep. And we had an amazing coach, and I've had no wrestling experience in the past, but us, along with one other teammate, made it to CIF this year. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the future of LBHS wrestling, along with many new freshman wrestlers coming in, and they'll be trained for 4 years. I believe we have a good shot.
I'm very excited for wrestling, as a new program. You know, it's kind of hard to get people to join, but when we get more people to join, I feel like our team will have a better, yeah, there we go.
Did you guys do any other sport before wrestling, or?
He did.
I played golf. Just
Okay.
not much in common, but.
Just wrestling, so.
So you wouldn't have done sport if we hadn't brought wrestling on?
I probably would have done football, but wrestling, my dad and my uncles have done wrestling too, so yeah, they
So
wanted me
great.
to do wrestling.
That's great. Yeah, well,
You can still do football.
yeah, well, I as a mother, I think wrestling's a far better idea. And so with the success, don't you think that the program will just naturally build itself
Oh, of course.
quickly?
Yes, our coach is he's able to connect with us very well, and he's also an experienced wrestler himself. He was a
State runner-up.
state runner-up. In his high school, they have pictures of him on the walls because he's the greatest wrestler at his high school. Yeah, I'm really fortunate that we had him as a coach for our first year.
Thank you for sharing that. Thanks.
So one of the unexpecteds this year in wrestling is we had a bunch of seniors who hadn't wrestled before jump in and wrestle. And it's not when older kids jump in and wrestle with older kids, it's very, very difficult. We actually, how many dual matches did we win? 1 or 2?
We won 1.
So we actually won a dual match versus another one. And again, we had 3 kids qualify out of league to go on to CIF individual. So all things considered, and thank you to Thurston Middle School because that's where we practice and they made space for us to get our mats up there and we came up after their kids were done. It's actually the nicest practice facility we have as a high school because they're up there by themselves and there's not people all around. Down here, it's crazy after school and they get a nice peaceful facility. So can we have our girls lacrosse players up next?
Hello, my name is Tatiana Moore and I'm the co-captain of the girls lacrosse team.
My name is Sophia Seidensticker. I am also a member of the lacrosse team, and I know that I speak for my teammates as well as myself when I say that this season has been really fun for all of us.
We didn't just only learn lacrosse as a sport, but we also learned what real perseverance and teamwork is. And I'm a sophomore and I didn't play a sport my freshman year, and I didn't plan on playing a sport.
for the rest of my high school career, I was just gonna stick with music, the music program. But as soon as I heard that lacrosse was introduced, I jumped on the opportunity of learning a new sport and meeting new people, and it's been super fun.
So I started off playing soccer at the high school my freshman year, and I was planning on doing it all throughout my sophomore year this year as well. But I started off doing soccer preseason soccer this year, and it just wasn't the right environment for me. So I signed up for lacrosse, had a couple friends doing it, and I've really found a family there. It's just been a really great program and a lot of fun for all of us. So it's been a great experience. We just wanted to thank you guys for the opportunity to play this sport. It's been really fun for us, and we know that a lot of freshmen, incoming freshmen, are interested as well. So thank you.
And for me, the stories, again, it wasn't right in one place and I came to another place. That's always been my experience. We're gonna create environments out there where all of our kids are gonna slot in somewhere and enjoy it. So last up today, we had 2 boys lacrosse players and one car broke down, we don't know.
He's in the military.
You know, he had to go to practice. He's going into the Marines, so he's doing the pre-Marine training stuff, so he had that tonight. Well, come on up, Ben, you can tell everybody about it.
Good evening. My name is Ben Collig and I'm the goalie for the lacrosse team. First of all, I just want to thank you all for having the opportunity for me to play, my teammates to play here. And I just want to share my experience with you. So, I never had any intentions of playing lacrosse. I really only heard about it when I went to New York because it's more of an East Coast sport. And I heard a couple of my friends were going to play, so I was like, I'll try it. First day of practice, I couldn't catch a ball for my life. It was just, it took a couple weeks, it was hard. It's not something you just pick up. But we had a couple kids that played for a couple years, which helped us a lot. I think over the couple months postseason, when we practiced at Thurston, I think our chemistry and our teamwork has just improved. And then when we got back to the field, we lost a couple players, gained a couple, so that chemistry was kind of off too. We only had a couple weeks left until the season starts. And we finished the season 7-5. So yeah, I just want to thank you from myself, my team, my coaches, Coach Nunziati, Coach Knox, Coach Evans, and the community for letting us have the opportunity to play here. Thank you.
So real quick, man, I just want to explain the moving parts. So Coach Nunziata, our boys coach, is also a middle school math teacher at Thurston. He got hired. And so during the winter, when soccer was practicing out on the field until 8 or 9 o'clock at night, boys lacrosse, like wrestling did, waited for the middle school kids to clear out, and then they practiced up there. Girls lacrosse went all the way down to El Moro. Mr. Duddy was kind enough to let us go down there. So Alexandra Holtz, a science teacher at school, was our girls coach, so she would travel down to El Moro with the girls, and they would practice down there. Once the soccer season ended, then we had the time to get them on our field, and so that's where they're talking about the transitions back to the high school. Our wrestling coach, who you talked about, wrestling's a tough sell in South Orange County right now, and St. Margaret's had just dropped their program, and Robert Morales was their coach. He's who you heard about. He wrestled at Laguna Hills High School, and he's local, and he's a bit of an entrepreneur. He has about 6 different businesses, so the fact that he gets here as a young guy and coaches these guys and made the impression on him that he did is impressive. But so again, and they were up at Thurston all year. They're very excited to host a home meet at the high school, and our old gym is just a dynamite place to host wrestling with the crowd up above. So hopefully we get to that next year where we actually have a home match at the at the high school and give the opportunity for the boys to compete in front of their classmates. But all in all, thank you guys. It was awesome. I think you remember last year the Marines donated basically a $10,000 mat to us for a little bit of advertising. You guys put the money up front for lacrosse, and then we had another donor in the community who gave us more that allowed us to expand our back nets and do some things we wouldn't have been able to do in the first year. So it was awesome. It was fun. I can't tell you how many people in the community said, you know, oh, you've got lacrosse up there now. And we walked by and we saw it, and a lot of excitement about the lacrosse here, just from you know, people that we live here now and we play lacrosse. We're glad to see it out there. So thank you. It was good here.
From my perspective, I'd like to say thank you for expanding our athletic program. Over the years, I definitely had requests that we add both of the sports, wrestling and lacrosse. And the answer always was, well, we don't have enough students. The other answer was, for lacrosse, we don't have field space. How would we possibly work it out? And for me, having done this for a long time, I always want to reach a point where when something new comes up, the answer isn't the reasons we can't do it. The answer is, we'll see how we can do it, because it's good for students and it adds to our program, which is hard to do in a small district. So I'm appreciative that you pushed forward with this, did the surveys, brought us the information, and I'll tell you, I'm gonna work harder next year to understand lacrosse. It is hard, it's a hard sport, and it's a hard sport to play, besides being complicated to watch it and figure out what's going on. But see, I need to expand my understanding. I had to learn water polo, so I can, anyway. All joking aside, I'm appreciative that what you brought has enhanced our program.
And I appreciate you listening to how we could get it done, because there was a bunch of people out there who didn't believe we could, so thank you.
And great job to the students, thank you.
Thank you. You guys probably want to get out of here now. Is there anything else they're going to want to listen to tonight?
Everything, we're fascinated. I love staying.
Thank you.
Thank you. The Bupa report is next.
Yes, so we have pretty much wrapped up negotiations. I think there's one more, IBB, there's one more date to go through, but for the most part, I asked my colleagues on the negotiating team, and I asked them, regardless of the outcome, did you like the process? And did you like the process better than last year? The answer to, did you like the process better than last year, was totally yes, completely. And as particularly what I thought was really of value, and they did too, was the vibe in the room. They felt like it was more of everybody, just the fact you share your interests and you come together, you have that discussion. It was more productive conversations, more positive, and everybody got to, put out what they needed to put out. So I thought that was really, and as they did too, they valued that process very much, and everybody who participated. So, and they would definitely like to do it again. And the joint communiques were great for all of our members to have that information, so we appreciate you, the teams that put all that together. Next we are moving forward with our LaBufa election timelines, and we will be voting June 8th on our elections, and I think we will also vote on the contract at that time too. My understanding is we'd be ready to do that, with the results to be announced June 11th. So, and also we just today had a meeting to review our PLCs and how they go about, and I would say, at least in my group that we were talking with, generally there were a lot of questions amongst it, all of that. So while we understood the basic of it, but there was a lot of questions, so I think moving forward for more clarity and training is would be of value for all of us, so, because it has been a while. And and just how different departments would operate within that process. So I think that would be very valuable to all of our teachers. And then also the opportunity to participate in the 360-degree evaluations. We appreciate that, and I've really taken pause as I've gone through my evaluations, and it really is nice to think about all of the professionalism that's been shown in this district and
amongst our leaders, so. So I appreciate that, and then also our calendar that, you know, as far as the calendar goes, we do support the process that the district has gone through to really hear all interested parties and all that effort that has been put forth. So thank you.
Elizabeth.
Hi. Okay. It's good to be here this evening. I would say CSEA has finished their negotiations after a great experience in the IDB process, which our processes in the past have been somewhat similar, but this is really, this year's been an opportunity to just really have a great, more of a camaraderie in that experience of storytelling and whatnot. It was really great, and again, we would like to continue that process in the future as well. CSEA is having a Q&A forum about the TA that will be taking place on May 29th for any of our members that might have questions in regards to the TA after that, and that's going to be at the district office between 2 and 5. And our negotiation team will be here to answer any of those questions. Our voting will take place on June 6th at all of the sites, with the results to be probably announced shortly after that, because we'll have tellers that will be telling all that up. On June 13th, we're going to be having our end of the year meeting and celebration of our Employees of the Year with our annual invitation to all of you and district administration to attend our last meeting of the year. And hopefully you'll all be able to attend. It will be about 3:30 in the outside patio of the admin building. And I want to say that Margaret and I are very grateful for the opportunity and the invitations to the governor's May Revise that we've been invited to for January and May. Yesterday's day was very enlightening, and it's a great opportunity to be able to go there. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any organization reps here from PTA School Power? All that. Board members, for anything that you represented.
So nothing to report. I got to go to the joint Saddleback LUSD CTE Perkins Grant Advisory Committee Board. Whoa. Which actually, you know, you're like, oh, I have to go to this thing. But inevitably, I learned something. Alexis Carroll went, Amy Cunan and Ann Bergen were there as well. And 4 takeaways, this is from business owners and you know, community members. Soft skills, key, really important. Basically that means eye contact and learn how to speak to somebody, which, hello, none of us know how to do that. And that was across the board the most important thing. Writing skills are vital for any job, no matter what it is. You've got to be able to write. Programming can be offshored. So, you know, we spend all this time, computer. You better have something else to throw with that, or you gotta learn to adapt. And then finally, the key to all of this is engendering curiosity at the youngest of ages. So TOW and El Moro, that's where we have to start with all this, is introducing these kids to the science labs, I mean, honestly, and to the project-based learning things, getting them curious, getting them involved, is where that's where we're gonna get the most bang for our buck. So that was just again very interesting. It was 2 hours, but it was well worth it. It was time well spent. So
Thank you for going up and representing us. Going along with that, I just read about curiosity being a predictor of not only school but life success.
Yeah, sure. And I always report on an endowment, continuing that, and in the comments of School Power. So, Dr. Gloria.
Well, as you heard from there's a lot going on at the high school, and that's kind of what's going on at elementaries as well with a lot of our state testing. Is we've added the science test now, like we did last year. It does expand the length of time, but unfortunately it seems as though the old adage of that they were trying to have less testing for our students is starting to dissipate. They're seeing the amount of time it takes to actually do the assessments is lengthy. However, the cognitive rigor is very high. So in the old days when we used to do the CSTs, where there was really no cognitive rigor, we could get those done in less than a week. This takes more time. We have to create schedules to help allow our students that time, that think time. So appreciate the staff, the principals, our teaching staff for creatively finding ways to continue to work with our students and creating a positive environment for them around that. I know there's a big sigh of relief. I think I heard it here when the AP testing was over at the high school from staff and from students alike. Again, a lot going on over there with prom and everything else that wrapping up the last couple of weeks. So we did wrap up the school calendar survey on Friday this last week. We had about 1,000 students respond, about 850 parent guardians, 900 classified staff, and 152 certificated staff. 90. I have an extra zero.
We are way over.
My apologies. I was reading the line above it.
It's a one-to-one class.
Long way to go, folks. So yeah, 90 classified staff, 152 certificated, which included certificated managers, those other staff who have their credentials. So we also did this last week the site council reps meeting, which was again with the board direction to bring those school site council reps in and have an opportunity to discuss with each of the site reps groups process and also receive some additional feedback, which will be posted on our website. So the website has a significant amount of information on there that keeps being added to. We appreciate people continue to ask questions, but you'll find a lot of answers on there to a lot of the questions that have come up over time. So that's important.
As our association reps have mentioned, we have tentative agreements with both groups. We're very pleased about that. The IBB process it felt messy at times, but it was a good way to get all the voices in the room. So we appreciate their willingness to engage in that process with us. So we have a day 4 of IBB training coming up. That's what Sarah alluded to in June, and that's really to kind of solidify the process. It's a refresher in a way, it's a recommitment to see if this is something that we want to continue to do. So that's coming up on June 4th. Last week, Jason and Alicia and I attended the VITSA Colloquium, which was actually held at OCDE this year. Our lead mentor was assigned to us by the county because we only had 2 teachers in the process. And I wanted to just recognize Val Quigley for her support of those 2 teachers. It's tough to be a new teacher, and she's given them a lot of support. So Sally B has graduated from induction. She's culminated her induction program, so she will obtain her clear credential. And Derek too will begin his 2nd year, and I believe Val will continue to be his mentor. So it was a nice little event.
I appreciate you throwing it. Missed having it here, but.
Yes, I know.
Yes, so the May revision has come out since our last meeting, and just to let the board know, we'll be going over that in detail with JFMC tomorrow. And we'll continue to include information in the weekly updates as we go through the details of that as well.
So just quickly, Jason called up CAS and AP testing, and LPAC wraps up this Friday, so we're excited about that, and grateful for staff's support with that. Next, Michael Keller held his last stakeholder meeting for parents, and we're preparing for our spring administration for our universal screeners. Thank you again to Yadi and Iman for a successful DLAG season. We wrapped up our parent training last week.
We had the end of the year celebration.
Not for Juntos, but yes, for
the adults. That's what I meant. Thank you. Okay, so we now have our consent calendar. Are there items that board members would like to remove? A to J? Yes.
Item A.
Okay. Any other items? So then, and I should have said, ask for the motion specifically for items B through J, so that's. I'm just. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries 5-0-1. Oh, 4-0. 5-0, excuse me. Yeah, that's 5-0. Let me start over. Item A, approval of the minutes, may I have a motion to so move? Any public comment on item A? And all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Thank you. Information items, we have none tonight. We are all actually a lot of information. Informal items, and then we start our action items. The first is item 13, approval of resolution 18-03, full and fair funding of California public schools. Dr. Gloria.
This was an item that was discussed briefly at the last meeting, and was requested to have an actual resolution to express the school district's support of full and fair funding of our public schools in the city of California. To be aligned more with the national average instead of treating the Prop 90 and LCFF as the bottom driving 15%.
Any public comment on this item? Any more questions? Motion, please. Any discussion? Thank you. I think it's a goal that we've tried to reach for in California for years, and hopefully someday we'll get there. I think it's, one thing I always find interesting is that California is really a diverse state, and I think the cost of education of our students is higher in California than in a lot of other states, and so to be behind probably is even more significant. And especially in the more lower income districts, they really struggle. That's what I would. Anyway, that's a roll call.
Mrs. Vickers?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Normandin?
Yes.
Mrs. Wolf?
Yes.
Mrs. Perry?
Item 14, board policy, second reading and final approval. Gloria.
Again, this is brought forward, we traditionally try not to have board policies out of our board policy workshop. However, due to the timing of some legislation that was passed, these needing to be done prior to July 1st. And these were brought to you last meeting as a first read. There were no changes or requests for any changes, so you see them here tonight as they were presented.
Public comment? Any more questions? Motion please? Second. Did you say it? Any more discussion? Read through, they look good. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries 5-0. Item 15, approval on-site services agreement with Franklin Covey to provide professional development opportunity in August 2018 for classified staff on the suite of trust at a not to exceed amount of $3,500.
As always, we're looking for opportunities to provide staff development for our classified staff, and this was an opportunity that Ms. Weber was able to be a part of, and thought this would be a great addition to what we offer for our staff. So we're looking to offer 2 sessions to our classified staff, and believe that in this day and age, as we know, we all move so quickly. We have a tendency to utilize a lot of technology in a lot of our communication, and it's important for us to always remind ourselves the importance of establishing those relationships and that trust factor. So we're hopeful that this will be a great opportunity for our staff to continue to learn. So we appreciate that. I appreciate Ms. Weber bringing it forward.
Public comment? Any questions? Motion to so moved. Second. Would you say?
Give it to me.
Any more discussion?
The only thing is, I think this is brilliant, one. I looked at it, I thought, why are we doing something with that, the thing, the place that makes plates, those wait, why are we just, remember plates? I was like, aside from that, I think this is a wish we could have something like that for our parent community, so that maybe they would.
There was some of those trust gaps.
Yeah, a little bit of trust gap there, so I just, anyway, those are my comments. Sorry. Sorry, as usual.
You get an Elvis remember to play with it.
Or one of those coins, yeah.
The grandma's
I would
always,
donate
yeah.
some to the cause. Thank you, Victoria, and thank you for acknowledging it.
Yeah.
We're glad you brought it. On favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carries 5-0. Action item 16, approval, create technology systems specialist position for 6.0 hours per day, 12 months per year.
Thank you. So we annually evaluate, our tech department evaluates their support to our school sites. As you well know, we have more devices than students, so it requires a lot of support. And so in examining those help desk tickets, as well as how much we have spent in additional support, 1,100 hours of additional support from substitute or additional classified staff, also to help cover the summer when there's heavy projects going on, and our we've had additional staff, unloading boxes and help setting things up and getting them ready for students to start at the beginning of the year. So it actually is in our best interest to recommend a 6-hour position to help with that support. And so that is the recommendation.
Public comment or questions? Motion please.
Second.
Any board discussion?
You guys.
Discussion?
Did I miss, will you give the requirements after you approve this, and then you'll let us see, I don't remember seeing that.
The job description? The job description already exists.
Oh, okay.
So this is just creating another position. We
Okay.
currently have 3.
Okay.
No, 2.
That's why I wasn't getting.
2 technology systems specialists in the district. One who is assigned to both elementary.
Okay, so that's those.
One who's assigned to Thursday,
Okay,
right, so this
just-
will allow the high school,
Got
high
it.
school's actually
Got it.
needs the most
Okay,
support right
that's
now,
what-
so that would be able to,
Okay,
Mike
that
Rush has been helping to cover
I
the
can't
high
remember what all
school.
their titles are.
Yeah.
Because you named them,
Robbie,
I would know.
acts
Yeah.
like 2 people,
Right.
that's why.
Right, we have a sub that's within the site.
Yes, we've had a sub who's been providing support.
So, the cost will go from 26,000 to up to 59,000?
Correct, but they work 12 months a year. This additional support is sporadic. There's times when we don't have it.
And we need it.
And yeah, but we need it, so that would help cover that, and it's consistent, it's one person.
I think it made a big difference for seeing the responses and the fact that they respond to even parents and stuff, like you go in and ask for support and stuff, or kids and chill with the kids and stuff, and the fact that students can be high pressure to their students go, oh, there's the tech guy I need, and they wanna stop and track them down when he's been walking. It'd be nice to have someone there. It gives us a good response time.
Right, and that's, I think, one of the conversations that we've had is, teachers, when faced with technology, when it doesn't work, is problematic. Piper's probably, she's coming on her hand, yes, it happens, right, where, all best laid plans go out the window. We have response time on our tickets is, pretty amazing for the size of our district as is. We clearly have the additional need, at the high school, to have somebody that's dedicated as to support there. We also, again, looking at our models and efficiencies, working with Mike Morrison and his department to determine, okay, so he has some teachers in special assignment who have been doing work, moving things around over there, creating space within his own budget, to be as cost neutral as possible as well. And we think we can accomplish that at this point, so, we believe we'll have a really good model, between having, the classified support over there on a regular basis, as well as continuing to have the site take on some of their, work around their TOSA, around technology, so they can define, and then Dr. Allman can work with his staff to determine what are the needs, he has, around, and their staff has, around the technology support from a teacher perspective, so.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, carries 5-0. Action item 17, approval, acceptance, and actuarial study for retiree health liabilities under GASB 74/75 for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2017. Jim.
Thank you, President Vickers. Last year, we contracted with Total Compensation Systems due to this new government accounting standards for 74/75 coming online, which requires us to do an actuarial study. That study looks at our other post-employment benefits versus whatever assets you have to offset those liabilities. And in our case, thanks to the work the board did in setting up the trust in 2015, we have very little liability outstanding. It's $275,000 as of the end of June 30th, 2017, which if you recall from the last fiscal report, we've netted this year so far $100,000 above that. So what we're gonna do with this, with the acceptance of this actuarial study, when we bring back our budget for the 2018-19 school year, it will include fully paying the OPEB liability, contributing that money to the trust, and then we will still be doing the pay-as-you-go model. We have no plans to pull from that trust this time. It's staff's recommendation that we become super funded before we even look at getting away from the pay-as-you-go. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions related to the actuarial study.
We have to do it.
I can't say no to that because I've done one every year, so.
Present any public comment, and now board questions.
So you just answered it.
On these recommendations, we have some of those databases already going, or things that they're recommending that you
We have most of the
list these things by
recommendations
isolating them into the categories.
We have it isolated already.
Okay.
There's more of a boilerplate language on that, but we isolate it separate by both cost center and resources.
So it's not something that we have to undertake.
No, it's required to be put into the report as well as requirements.
Oh, they're required to do that, okay. Got it. Motion please.
So moved, second.
Any discussion?
Jan, I had the same question, and when I read their paragraph about one of the recommendations, because they didn't go into that depth, and so they took a normal recommendation, so here we did that. How do we get that information if we're not doing that? Yes. Supportive answers, as always.
No, there's a lot here to understand.
Yeah.
Thanks. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carries 5-0. Action item 18, approval of purchase agreement with Solution Tree for the 2018-19 school year in an amount not to exceed $6,500. Who's presenting this? Okay.
So I bring this forward on behalf of Mrs. Albrecht and Dr. Ullman. They have identified a speaker, John Yost, to come forward and support with the PLC work in August.
Public comment? Board questions?
Could you just give a brief description of what he does?
Absolutely. So, as you know, the elementary team will be moving forward with ICLE. We've brought that forward in a previous board meeting. Solution Tree is also has expertise with professional learning communities, so we will host 2 separate groups. Solution Tree will support the secondary. That will be on Wednesday after the keynote. We'll work specifically with our sites in grade level work for the data teams. So they're under planning that right now for August 29th, Wednesday, August 29th day. Thank you.
Motion. So moved. Second. Any discussion? I'm appreciative that we're putting more on the sites so that they're really strongly involved in determining what's gonna work best. And overall, I just think it definitely was time for us to refresh the whole PLC movement. It has been a long time, and we've had a lot of staff change, so it's definitely worthwhile.
One of the advantages that Solution Tree brings is when you think back many years ago when we had divorce, that Solution Tree is now the company that kind of spawned out of their work, and so though Mr. Forbes has since passed, his wife is still doing a lot of the training. She's part of the Solution Tree team, so they have very specific kind of expectations of those people that work on their behalf and representatives on their behalf. So I feel confident that we have somebody in Mr. Yost or Dr. Yost that has California experience, and that's always is helpful too for context. And we look forward to trying out and seeing what solution she has to offer and utilizing ICLE. And then kind of determining with our staff what our next steps will be in the fall to continue our work around that topic. So we still have people staff going to Santa Clara for the Solution Tree PLC there as well, and they can again identify potential speakers or topics that they'd like to have in the fall. So that's our intention, is to identify those areas that we can continue to train staff on and come up with a plan to move forward on that. So.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carries 5-0. Action item 19, approval independent contractor agreement with Caitlin Tucker for consulting fees for the 2018-19 school year in an amount not to exceed $7,600. Dr. Depot.
Thank you. So we brought Caitlin Tucker out in March. It was well received. Our secondary English teachers participated. There was a desire to continue with that work so we can continue to go deeper and develop immediate feedback in classrooms with small groups and building those structures into the period day. So for our teachers, we have 2 dates on the books with her for early next spring. So thank you for your consideration.
Public comment? Any questions from the board? Motion please. Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries 5-0. Item 20, approval contract with University of California Irvine Math Project Consulting Services for the 2018-19 school year in an amount not to exceed $26,400. Dr. Depot.
Thank you. So this is in planning for next year. We have a desire to continue to work and build in conceptual understanding for our math teachers at the high school. We started collaborating on a plan. It will include units of study and also professional development, but the professional development will include in-class modeling.
Good. Public comment, board questions? Motion, second. Any discussion? Thank you. Obviously, an area that we continue to need to work on. It's not an easy subject to teach to all students, and it shifts. Yes, that's challenging. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries 5-0. Item 21, approval award contract to Brightview Landscape Services Inc. for grounds maintenance services on a unit cost basis for the 2018-19 fiscal year in an amount not to exceed $360,000. Brian. Okay.
Hello. Staff recommends acceptance of this bid and award of the contract with Brightview Landscape Services Incorporated for the grounds maintenance services in an amount not to exceed $360,000. The not to exceed amount of $360,000 does include the organic non-toxic option for the maintenance of our landscape areas. The services are within budget, and upon award of this bid, the contractor will work with their suppliers to prepare an organic maintenance plan that specifically identifies the products and methods to be used at our landscape areas. And we'll be able to share the organic maintenance plan with the board in a future board update. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have about this item.
Any public comment? Any more questions?
So, we don't know exactly what the organic part is, but we're willing to give them the contract.
Correct. The way we structured the bid is we made it an option for organic, non-toxic materials or methods to perform the services to our specifications. It would be difficult to specify the exact materials or methods because we wanted to get our best value from the bidders who participated, and they may have different means and methods, hand pulling weeds versus spraying vinegar, and we didn't want to dictate that. We wanted them to give us the best price for that method. And now that we have that option, if it's within our budget, now they're going to work with their suppliers and the district, and they're going to prepare that organic maintenance plan for us. So we'll all have that information to know how they'll go about maintaining our landscape areas.
Okay, that makes sense, but if we don't agree with their organic plan, we're already locked into the contract.
No, can I jump in on this one? So in the bid documents, they're required for non-toxic and organic methods. There's really two ways to do that: hand pull and vinegar. There's no pre-emergence allowed, so we're gonna have to experience some
Yeah, I
leak
saw
growth to
that
address it.
pre-emergent was on their list.
It's on our
Pre-
standard list.
post-emergent.
Yeah, so like organic fertilizer would be a product they would have to come back with. And it's all, the type of the product isn't necessarily specified, because we can't do that for them, but we can put in the criteria of which the product must fulfill, which is that non-toxic organic option. But quite frankly, that's a lot of hand holding. So most of that at all for Maple's labor.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other board questions? Motion, so moved. Second. Any discussion?
I just appreciate you doing it, and I saw it, and so I told one of the gals who was here,
The non-toxic.
The non-toxic, yeah, and she said, thank you very much, we appreciate that. Yeah, and just in case you need anything, I've got a field full of cows back in the Midwest, and I can get you something in Europe if you need it.
We'll let them know about that. See if they wanna work that into
They need a
the
sheet,
plan.
the cheap, yeah, I'm happy to give it.
City's goods, cause they're everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, there'll be nothing left.
I see they have of the insect disease control here, page 142. And I know one thing they used to do before, it was a little time consuming, but they would capture insects, and they figured the ones they were able to capture were somehow diseased or not good, and then they'd blend them up in a blender and spray them.
So that's
One of the methods I heard of. It seems so funny.
And I do wanna say, growing up with a father who wanted to do things organically, and I do understand my neighbors use more Roundup than our district uses, but I still really appreciate the fact that all of you guys really took the time to make this adjustment. And I think we have to start somewhere, so I really appreciate it. I'd like parents to go to the state level and get the state to change it, because it would be for all kids. So I really appreciate that you took the time for this, and that you're gonna continue, because it's not as simple as it was.
Well, once again, I'll repeat what I said to Lance Neal, I really appreciate the attitude of, let's see if we can do it, and not, oh, don't come in here and try to tell me how to change what we've done for years. And it's, that kind of, open-mindedness is, I think, essential, and it sets a good example for our students.
And I think it's worth it to spend more and have it be helpful for the students.
But we didn't have to.
It's within
I
the
know.
budget though, right?
I know, it's within the budget. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries 5-0. Action item 22, approval to award contracts for the LVHS Stadium restroom storage building and theater upgrades project in an amount not to exceed $1,869,320. And Jeffrey Ryan.
Go ahead, I'll take this item also. Staff recommends the acceptance of bid and award of contracts for the Laguna Beach High School Stadium restroom storage building and theater upgrades project to 3 contractors. The first contractor is bid package 1, Sanders Construction Services Incorporated, in the amount of $1,429,000. The bid package 2, Pacific Plumbing Company of Santa Ana, the amount of $144,320. And to bid package 3, RDM Electric Company Incorporated, the amount of $296,000. The bids are within the facility master plan budgets for the various projects included within the contracts. The multi-prime contract method combines projects to provide for cost savings through economies of scale and reduced overhead and profit markup, which would be included if it was bid as a general contractor. The selection of the construction contract delivery method is in response to the dramatic shortage in construction trades compared with available work in the marketplace. By splitting the scope of work up into specific contracts, we were able to target trade contractors, which better guarantees a successful projects.
So brilliant move by Ryan. It was brilliant. When you understand the construction industry, this was just the old facility. I would have never done that.
Thank you. And any public comment? Board questions?
Actually, I thought about the plumbing, we still have our plumbing too, right?
We do.
I just wanted to make sure I did.
Yes, we do. If he could do this project, we would have him do it. But he is busy daily taking care of our routine plumbing maintenance needs.
I can totally understand, I just wanna make sure I didn't miss something else.
No,
Peter's still here.
Peter's still here.
I haven't seen him as often as I did at Thurston, right?
That's a good thing.
I know.
That's good. But he has worked over the summer at Thurston with the sewer line replacements
I'm
and
still
the
working
capture
on that,
area
so.
and whatnot. He's here.
Any other questions? Motion please, so moved. Second. Any discussion?
Thank you, Ryan, for being brilliant and hiring 3 different contractors.
I have seen the sign at the, like a billboard out there, and that's great, I think, to notice people. And have you had any comments from anybody?
Have not, and really wanted to get that sign up early, just put the area on notice that we've been talking about this for the last year, the planning parts of the schedule.
Yeah.
Been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe longer than that, because I've only been here.
Well, it's the project that wasn't done with the track before, with the bond money.
The storage things will be gone, so that will be.
2004, the little porta potties will be gone.
Darn.
So, we're ready to get going, so we
Okay.
really appreciate your,
Thank
you know,
you.
support with the project.
It's time. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carries 5-0. The next action item 23, approval award contract to Best Contracting Services Inc. for the 2018-19 roofing replacements project at various sites in an amount not to exceed $562,390. And Ryan, you're taking this again?
I'll take this one also. Staff recommends acceptance of the bid award of contract for the 2019 roofing replacement projects at various sites with Best Contracting Services Incorporated in the amount of $562,390. The bids are within the facility master plan budgets for the various roofing replacement projects. This is the same process utilized over the last 3 years. The materials are procured through the Garland CMAS contract, and labor is procured through the public bid process. The CMAS purchase avoids material markups and also guarantees that material is available when needed during the summer. In addition, we've included the roofing and sheet metal scope of work for the new Laguna Beach High School restroom storage building within the scope bid to capture the economies of scale to avoid the overhead profit markups by a general contractor for the roofing. So a portion of this $562,000 and change is for the scope for our new building down at the high school.
Public comment or questions? Motion please, so moved. Second. Any discussion?
Brilliant again.
Again, it's really, and I think probably many of us know from our homes that the markup on materials is huge. And so, you know, from your, if you can get it yourself and then just have somebody do the work, it's, so it's on this scale, it's gotta be huge.
It's difficult to get, you know, a roofing contractor to bid a small 2,000 square foot building, where if they're already bidding all the work at the high school in Thurston, why not include that and capture those savings?
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Copy on this one.
3
years ago.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carries 5-0. That's our last action item. Now is our final item for board member requests for items for next meeting, requests for information or general comments.
I just wanted to thank all of you over there on that side for the negotiations and all the work with you guys for all the work. And really accepting the new process and working with it, as messy as it got, or not messy, or but it opened up conversations for you guys to have and to hear your interests and our interests, and really appreciate that effort. And thank you guys for putting together a FAQ website for the calendar. It is so helpful to be able to send parents there, and said it's there, but it's really helpful in the fact that if they ask something, you're updating it. That's helping the ones who are utilizing it, really is helping them be part of the process. Generally, so everyone's asking you to be part of the process. Thanks for, I know it's even more work, and I really appreciate you guys for doing
I went to both Thurston and LMLPT meetings, and Jenny just really keeps people informed at her PTA meetings, really uses that as a vehicle, and they still maintain pretty good attendance. That's a hardy group, right? They also had a big buffet for their volunteers, to thank their volunteers, and the band came and played, and they sound great. And Elmoro, and there's some concern over the survey, there were a lot of questions about that, and Chris he had the website up, and to show the parents there's all this information there, please go on and read it, and this was before this, the survey week, so I was really encouraging people to take that opportunity, take the survey, and, give your opinion. I just wanted to make further comment on what Piper had said. The relay record went back to 1974 for the girls' relay, and there was another record broken from 1981, I believe, Rennie Durand. And I remember watching her run. She was terrific. I mean, it was like those runners that just look like they're poetic when they run. And so that record is in the 200, and our freshman girl broke that record. So that's, and I have not been to, most of our meets seem to be away, but I haven't had a chance to see her run it. I'm looking forward to that. Brett Fleming was recognized as Coach of the Year, and also, and then Blake Brazil was the Athlete of the Year for that. And it seemed like a long time after basketball season when they finally got that team put together. But, and then just, I know it's upcoming, Dr. Keller is speaking at the high school PTA meeting, and I'm really appreciative of the timeliness of that, because when I saw that Netflix was showing that as a second season, I was astounded. Because I know we had a lot of concern when it was first shown, particularly students who might binge watch it, because it's rather overwhelming. And so I'm really glad that we can get right out there and get a message to parents, and hopefully they will spread it among themselves. So thank you for doing that. That's all that I have. Motion to adjourn to our next meeting on Tuesday, June 12th. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?